Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. This episode is sponsored by Classic Cat and 8 Lab. A very special guest with me today. He is a producer, Fabe, in the building. Ooh, you got a pretty drink. Yeah. Cheers to life, growth, health, wealth, and prosperity.
Cheers to this margarita. I love it.
Amen. Okay, so for the people that don't know your journey, can you tell us how you got started and where you are today?
Oh, thank you. So I'm originally from Connecticut. I was born in Oklahoma. I've been doing music pretty much my whole life. I grew up in the church. Moved to Atlanta to go do school. Graduated from Clark. I really started like doing it professionally there. Mm-hmm. And I think like with me, I played like a couple instruments, but I really had a passion for like R&B. But in Atlanta at the time, everybody was doing hip hop. So I moved from Atlanta to LA, and I think that's when I kind of like explored different like genres of music, and I really had a passion with artist development. So I started working with like a lot of younger artists, doing their projects and doing sessions and stuff like that. And from there, kind of like growing into like getting nominated for Grammys and Billboard stuff and the craft. I embrace it, and I also like to have fun too. So
no, it's amazing, and you've worked with amazing artists like Brent Faiyaz, who is one of my favorites. Yeah. How did you kind of get into the world of artist development and producing and just dealing with artists like Brent?
So it's interesting because I actually stumbled into the whole artist development aspect because none of the majors was like really like selecting my music. I don't know why, but I think it's really just like dealing with the politics of working with labels and having to do a lot of sweat equity and trying to get, 1,000,001 producers trying to get one song to one artist who only have 12 slots on their album. So I think that I really like stumbled into it because I got tired of like chasing the majors, and it really started, like my journey really started when I developed, I started working with Chloe and Halle, Bailey, when they were like 10 and 12 like years. And I think once they moved back to LA from Atlanta, that's when I like really like started to really like focus on their project, and we did a whole album before they end up signing with Parkwoods. And then from there I discovered an artist named Bibi Borelli. She actually is from Germany, but she ended up writing Bitch Better Have My Money for Rihanna and a couple other hits. Nice. And I did her whole album with Def Jam. And from there, I stumbled with Brent Faiyaz. His manager is a really good friend of mine, and he connected us. And once Brent moved to LA, I was like one of the first sessions that he did. And really, that's like my brother. So it's like we have like a really good relationship. So really, music is like really secondary at this point. It's like friendship first, then music. So I kind of like treat a lot of the artists like that. I think I have to really be like comfortable working with you for it to be like for me to make sense for it. So,
absolutely. When you produce certain music, do you produce it prior to or getting to know the artist first and then produce?
That's interesting because it just depends. Like it's different ways. Like with me producing, like I'll literally have the idea in my head, and sometimes I'll send it. And if they don't like it, then they don't use it. Or sometimes I kind of like to say, I tell my friends this all the time. I'll like finesse the idea on them. Mm-hmm. So like I already have it in my head. So when I'm in the studio, I'll just start like making it and making it just so they're a part of the creative process. And that usually works a lot, because a lot of artists, they're kind of like in their own head anyways. Me as a producer, I don't really like have attachments to any ideas. It just comes and I just kind of like give it away. But that's pretty much my method.
How do you deal with like egos and personalities when it comes to just being a producer, and like an artist might want to add their like spark or their their touches into it when you're producing something while they're there? How do you deal with that?
So there are good sessions and there are bad sessions.
Right.
I have more good than bad, but I think when it comes to egos, I tend to always not put myself in the process. I make it a collective. So
Right.
if it's an idea that I like and the artist doesn't like, I'll have to respect the artist, or vice versa. I may be able to like compromise stuff, but most of the time, like I think like when you have like good vibes and it's like good energy in the room, because that's
Absolutely.
big for me. Like I can't go in a session if I'm like already in a bad mood.
Right.
That can kind of affect everybody's mood.
And you're not mentally there.
Yeah, you're not mentally there, and it's counterproductive. But yeah, I think like for the most part, like I try to not work with artists that have egos, because there is a lot of artists that really like they're full of egos, and it doesn't really work with me. And I try to like keep it short,
Right.
But that's when it really becomes work when you think about it. Like
Yeah, like you want to come to your job and have a good time and
Yeah.
be happy and not have to necessarily like, do something that you don't want to do or be around people you don't want to be around and be able to create something that works for them. So do you put like knowing that you have you create this bond with someone before you kind of produce for them, is that something that you put into consideration when you're producing something, like let's say for example Chloe and Halle or Brent, and just producing something that would fit their brand?
Yeah, I think like most artists, they kind of know what they want. It just depends on the where they're at mentally. Like I think an artist like Brent, he's very easy to work with. He knows what he wants. He listens. He doesn't really argue. If he has an idea that he likes, he's open to listening to other ideas too. Chloe and Halle, at the time when I was working with them, they were very young, so they really were open to anything. Um, Chloe is really like a producer, so she can produce and write and all that. So can Halle. But it was kind of like a little bit more difficult because one, they were young. Two, the parents in the room, so it's like you can't really like fully express yourself. BB, she was actually the easiest because really like we're kind of like in the same like journey in a sense. Like she was trying to find a producer and I was trying to find an artist to work with, so it just kind of happened in perfect timing. So it was just it was just like effortless. It was really no thinking. It was just like we just made a bunch of songs in a short amount of time.
Right.
Um,
Is there ever something that you like are in love with and kind of married to, and then the artist is like, nah, I don't like that at all? Has there ever been an incident
yeah,
where you're like, I love this track, I love this beat, I think it would
yeah.
be great for you, and they're just like, nah, that ain't it?
It was one time. So I worked with Dr. Dre for like a few, like we did a song, and he had gave me his studio in Sherman Oaks for a week to just create. Like pretty much gave me the key to the studio for a whole week, and I brought all my friends. We was just cooking up, brought some producers, and I made this one track. Like I had brought a violinist and kind of like scored it, and I just put all my time into it. And really, honestly, I thought it was a great song. So I played it for Dre, and then he was like, "Okay, this is cool," and then skipped over it. And it took like 3 days to make it. So in my head, I was like, "Damn!"
Oh,
I was like, "Yo, I spent all this energy, and he
right.
didn't like it." But it's cool though because that happens. Like that's kind of the risk that,
Do you
like I
keep
said.
those and give it to someone else?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I keep them. Sometimes I keep them, or I'll like the way I make music is I take my time, so I'll listen to something and then maybe like a year or two later when I'm listening to it, I might hear new ideas or change it, but it'll always come from that base, that foundation.
Right.
So I always say like when I create music, it really just comes from like a few ideas, 6 to 7 ideas, and then it just get changed up. So there's only but so much chords you could do and stuff like that. So
Right.
I just really just play with sounds and collaborate a lot. So I'm a collaborative producer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, for the things that you make, like certain people, like let's say Dr. Dre, right? You made that track specifically for him, and he didn't like it. Is there some type of like contractional agreement that you guys have, like whatever you play for me can only be for me, where you can't sell these, or whatever I heard, if I don't like it, you can't use that? Does that ever come to play when you're dealing with like high clientele?
Well, not necessarily. I think that usually comes into play when the artist is purchasing the actual record. So I think in essence with like Dr. Dre, like he purchased the record, so that we did do a contract, and I can't obviously sell it to nobody,
Right.
but that was just like when it comes to the creative aspect though, I tend to like not really think about the business side either. That also kind of like can mess up the process.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, like I'll say I lean more to no than
That's crazy though. If you spend so much time on something and you're just like, I put all this energy, and it's kind of like a heart, like your heart just drops,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, I didn't spend all this time where you can make something that takes 5 minutes and they love that, but then the thing that you took all these days to make, they're just like, that's cool, but
Yeah, I think like when it comes to that though, like I'm one of those because I'm older, so it's like I don't like to waste my time. So it's like
right,
if I'm doing any type of music, like I want to make sure that this music is out, or I got paid for my time. So it's like
absolutely.
a trade off for me. So I think that that's the beauty of like really developing artists, is because you're putting a lot of passion into it, and sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not work.
There's
In my
no like
case,
emotional involvement though, like where it's like you're like, like I know if I put my time into something and you're just like, then I'd be like, damn, I did all of that. But there's no emotional involvement for you when
no,
you do
not
something yet.
in the beginning, yes, but now where I'm at now is like I honestly learned how to take breaks too, because I think that's
Right.
also important to get a refresh. So for a few, I took a year break, or maybe a year and a half break, and I went on tour, and I think that was one of the best decisions for me, because I really became more social. So a lot of people kind of like know me as a person that like be outside partying and stuff like that. But during the day, I'll be like really like creating and in my hub, like my creative hub. But I've learned to like absorb like other people's like energy, like party energy, and seeing how people receive music, hearing other music, how they're
Right.
kind of learning how to connect with like people that aren't musicians. And
Right.
I think that was one of the best experience for me, because I traveled the world. Like I went to Germany and see what type of music they listen to, and I went to France, pretty much everywhere in the United States, and I was able to just kind of like really reconstruct the way that I think in the studio. So now it's like when I go make music with somebody, I'm already knowing, okay, I want to make it for these type of people,
Right.
or I'm
You
making
know
for
your
these type of people.
genre.
Yeah, like even like just even in like the urban community, not everybody listens to like R&B. Some people listen to
Right.
gospel. Some people listen to trap music. So it's like I know there's subdivisions of all other genres too. So
Right.
I try to tap into everything, But my heart and soul is always R&B. So
Do you ever tap into things that are like out of your might be out of like your norm, like your creative ability, I guess you could say, like rock or like heavy metal or stuff like that. Like, do you ever think like, what would it be like, or have you ever produced something of that nature?
yeah, so I did a record with this artist. She's actually from Russia, and I remember I flew to Vienna. I never even been to this place, but it was she flew me to Vienna, Austria, and when I was out there, I was like, man. First and foremost, I was there for like a week. I think I probably seen like 5 black people, like, and I was everywhere downtown, and the music that they was listening to, it was a lot of house music, like EDM, like rave. It wasn't no hip hop. I didn't hear no type of hip hop. So I realized that when I was working with her, in my mind, I was going to create some
Like pop
EDM. It was
type,
like some
yeah.
pop music. So I did make one song, and I think that was the first song that I ever did that actually charted on Billboard. But
Wow.
it was like in dance, so
Yeah.
it wasn't something that I would like make consistently. But it was like, all right, I took a try, I did it,
But it was successful.
It was successful, yeah, like in the dance world, because like it's a smaller community.
Right.
But yeah, I think that was like my first time trying something out the norm. I like to try different things anyway, so I tried every genre except heavy metal.
Yeah.
But I tried country. I did country records.
But your heart and soul is R&B.
Yeah, I just realized that outside of like being a creative, like I like to focus on a lane and stick to it. I think you get more done when you know who you are as a producer. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not work for me, so it's like okay.
But you're having a good time making this track.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like to have fun in the studio. Like my studio sessions don't really be a lot of people. It just be everybody that's like creatively involved. So that was no distraction too.
So it's solely work. And
solely work.
No fun, and then the fun happens afterwards.
Yeah.
So for your fun, when you do have fun, do you have a spouse? Are you single, ready to mingle? Where are you at with relationships?
Relationships right now, I'm single. I'm single. I'll be outside.
Do you be outside on the street or the sidewalk? Are you outside all the way outside, or are you kind of outside?
Wherever the action is, that's probably where you're gonna see me. I'm talking to someone. Like I'm talking to a few people, but like
you're dating.
Yeah, I'm dating. Yeah, I'm dating. But it's like to me, it's like even dating, especially like doing music and dating, it could be a conflict too because like a lot of the times I spend time with artists and you develop relationships or whatever. Me personally, I don't mix business and pleasure, but I can see like a spouse or anybody that I'm currently dating can feel like a little friction. So I've honestly been single for a very long time, and honestly I like being single because it's like I don't really have to like answer to nobody. I don't really have to.
You have the freedom.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I know a lot of peers, they be having significant others, and they be having to they be stressed, they be lying. Like I don't really have to lie because I don't owe anybody anything. And I like to be very upfront too. So
and I respect that. Yeah. I'd rather someone be honest in any relationship than to lie and be deceitful, and then to continue to carry that relationship in a lie, or just it going in a dark place because you want to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a whole nother situation.
And plus dating, especially in Los Angeles, it's kind of hard, so it's really hard to find somebody that's your significant other, especially with the amount of distraction that's out there, the options that's out there. It's you can really easily get lost in who you are as a person. Yeah. So I think for me, the best thing about me is knowing who I am first, and then knowing what I want, because I had a failed relationship before, so I already know what I don't want. So it's I'm in a position now where I'm making really good music. All of my friends are doing well. I'm doing well. Okay, all right, maybe it's time to step out and date, but LA is it's a little different. I'm from Connecticut. Yeah,
you just having fun.
Yeah,
you're not
I'm having fun.
Down. Yeah.
Not right now. No.
I respect that. I respect the honesty. Okay, so for everyone that comes on the show, we play this game, Dirty Minds. We're describing something clean in a dirty way. So I'm going to let you pick 3 best out of 3 wins.
Okay, so describing something clean in a dirty way, is it?
Describing something clean in a dirty way, yes.
Okay.
So try not to think dirty because the descriptions are very kind of out there.
Okay, let me read it down.
Okay.
So I have to read out loud?
Yes, and I'm going to guess the word that's in the red.
Okay. You scream at the sight of my big black column. If you're lucky, I'll just tear your clothes off. I can come on you without much warning. When I blow you, it's easy to get carried away. If you try to take a picture of me when I'm coming, you're nuts. I don't know how you're going to guess this.
One more time.
You scream at the sight of my big black column. If you're lucky, I'll just tear your clothes off. I can come on you without much warning. When I blow you, it's easy to get carried away. If you try to take a picture of me when I'm coming, you're nuts.
I'm trying to think of something like, it can't be a storm. Am I in the vicinity of it? A hurricane?
Close.
Tornado?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you get that?
I was thinking of the big black column,
Yeah.
and if I take a picture of the tornado.
Yeah, it's definitely tornado.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this one.
All right. You can make me come in many colors. The bigger I am, the more it hurts. You have to be able to handle a lot of little pricks. You might be proud to have me between your thighs, which has absolutely nothing to do with what it is. So, sometimes you have to get poked for hours before I'm done.
Read it one more time.
You could definitely guess this one. You can make me come in many colors.
Okay.
The bigger I am, the more it hurts. You have to be able to handle a lot of pricks, which is a great clue.
Oh, handle a lot of what?
Pricks.
Pricks. Okay.
Pricks, sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be proud to have me between your thighs, which is the worst clue ever for this. And sometimes you have to get poked for hours before I'm done. That's another good clue. Poked for hours before I'm done.
Okay, poke for hours.
And handle a lot of pricks.
Okay.
Many colors too. It can come in many colors.
Is that?
The bigger I am, the more it hurts.
Okay, I could guess like, is it an object?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Okay. Man,
A lot of people get it.
it's dirty. And it's
It's a clean word.
It's a clean word, but
Yeah.
okay. Originally, I was gonna say a pillow, but
I have a lot of them.
you have a lot of them. Okay. What was, say the second one again.
The bigger I am, the more it hurts. You have to be able to handle a lot of little pricks. And sometimes you have to get poked for hours before I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know.
A tattoo.
Oh, a tattoo. Oh,
That's I was like the little pricks. So between the thighs, I was like, okay, not a lot of people are proud to have
I don't
tattoos.
have no tattoos, so I wouldn't even know.
In between their thighs, I was like, that was completely off.
Yeah, that
clue.
threw me off too.
Okay, your turn.
All right.
Your turn to ask me.
I don't know if you're gonna get this one. I come in waves. If I'm big enough, you'll feel me inside of you. I don't know why I said that, you know. It can hurt. It can sometimes hurt when I come in your ear. If I'm really big, the neighbors might complain.
Sound.
Hard banging can make me bigger.
Sound.
That's close though. Yeah, very
Noise.
close.
This is noise. Yeah.
You see, you play this game.
I've had this card. I've had this card. I know.
See,
that
this is
one.
unfair. This is my first time ever playing
I
this
try
game.
to put the cards that I used today away. So I'm like, that one, I probably missed that one. Okay. You should definitely get this one.
Okay.
I can swing both ways. When I'm open, you can come in the rear. If you bang me too much, I could start to sag. When you grab my big knocker, you get attention. If you fondle my knob, I might let you enter me.
A door?
Good job.
Okay. that one gave it away.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think the bang on me too much, I could start to sag. I don't understand
Yeah, I don't understand that one either. But the last one,
Yeah.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's on you.
All right.
I must have not put those other two away. They mixed in with the other ones.
This one's funny, actually. When I work on your hole, I start to come out of my pants. I get paid to play with my rod. I usually come in a truck. I do a little poking to clean out your pipes. If there's too much hair in your hole, I need a longer tool. I'm gonna say it again. When I work on your hole, I start to come out of my pants. I get paid to play with my rod.
Oh, it's a person.
I usually come in a truck. I do a little poking to clean out your pipes.
A plumber.
Yeah.
That's the one. Poking in the pipes.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least. You'll find me hanging below your belt. You have to open your zipper to get me off. If I'm too tight, it's hard to get me off. If I'm too small, you can't get me up. If I'm really long, I could drag on the ground.
Pants.
Good job.
Yeah. That was easy.
That one was easy. I'm going to give you another one. All right. Later, you can have me for sloppy seconds. I come in your mouth on national holidays. If I get too hot, I can get a little dry. The bigger my breast size, the more you want me. After you eat me, you have to undo your pants.
Chicken?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Close.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on, all that good stuff.
So you can find me on Instagram, Paperboy Fabe. I'm not on Twitter. I am releasing a project called The Collection.
Nice.
So basically it's just going to be an R&B project with collective of artists, both young, old, whatever. Look out for that. Possibly coming out in fall, maybe next year. But
it's gonna be an album.
It's gonna be an album. It's gonna be a collection. I'm assuming 12 songs.
Nice.
And check out my song with Brent Faiyaz, Language. It's out now on Spotify, Apple Music.
Super dope song, by the way. It's going viral on TikTok, y'all. So make sure you guys listen to Language. Tune out for The Collection in the fall and all things that Fabe has going on. And follow him on the gram. Hit him up. Don't blow him up. And that is it for Telli Talks.